everybody. I want to thank you all for joining me. My name's Mike. Welcome to a look back. First and foremost, I want to take a moment to send my condolences and my prayers to the family of Jay Briscoe, who passed away on January 17th, 2023, in a car accident in Laurel, Delaware. He was taking his children, two daughters, to their cheerleading practice when a driver crossed the center line and hit them head on, killing both Jay Briscoe and the driver of the other vehicle. It's uncertain to the condition of his daughters, but we will be in prayer and sending our well wishes to that family. Jay Briscoe, of course, was a member of the Briscoe brothers with his brother Mark. Great talent, remarkable person. They were 13-time reigning Ring of Honor champions. Your heart's just broken when I know what mine was when I heard of his passing. But like I said, tonight we'll do this and we'll remember the late, great Jay Briscoe. Tonight, we'll take a look back at a match that I've wanted to look at for a long time now. It is a classic to me. It was part of the first ever Clash of Champions. It was a great card out of Greensboro, North Carolina. On the card that night, you had Mike Rotunda versus Jimmy Garvin. The Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane with Jim Cornette versus the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. The Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk with Dusty Rhodes and Paul Ellering versus the Powers of Pain, the Barbarian and Warlord with Ivan Koloff, accompanied by Paul Jones. Lex Luger and Barry Windham wrestled Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard with J.J. Dillon. And Ric Flair defended his world title against a young upstart we now know as Legend Sting. We're going to look back at that card. The match we're going to look at tonight is the tag team match for the United States Tag Team titles, the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette versus the Fantastics. It was a great match. It was one of a lot of expectations in it. Both teams known for their talent. Both teams legendary in the wrestling profession. So with that said, if you're watching on the Peacock Network, you can tune in under Clash of Champions. It's the first one. It's at the 15:34 mark. The way we'll do this is I've got the video. I'm going to count down to 3, 2, 1, and you'll hear me say push play now. When I say now, push play. I hope you all enjoy it. I thank you all for coming. But let's watch the Midnight Express and the Fantastics. All right, everybody. When I count down from 3 to 1 and say push play now, on the word now, push play. 3, 2, 1, push play now. And you see the sign, the Midnight Express and the Fantastics face up. This is the first ever Clash of Champions. Of course, like I said, it's a U.S. Tag Team title match. The Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. There's the fans on the front row with the Cornette sign. I'm sure Something was done there. Jim Cornette introducing the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. This was a very good match, both talented teams. The man on the microphone in the ring is a legend in the Greensboro area. That's Truckin' Tom Miller. He done a lot of announcing for the NWA during that time. There's Stan Lane, Bobby Eaton, Jim Cornette in the corner with his tennis racket. The fans excited to see the Midnight Express, and Jim Cornette holding the beautiful United States Tag Team title. I'm kind of partial to it. The referee in charge is Randy Pee Wee Anderson. And here comes the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. A great team. Like I said, both these teams are very talented, both exciting, energetic. The fans enjoyed them, and they jumpstart the match. The Midnight Express trading blows with the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton pairing off with Bobby Eaton, Tommy Rogers and Stan Lane over in the corner. Bobby Fulton goes out with Bobby Eaton to the outside. They're both outside. Randy Anderson trying to get him back into the ring, and yes, he blocks the head into the ring post. Bobby Fulton and Bobby Eaton fighting down the aisleway. And you see Tommy Rogers going to the top rope. Referee trying to restore some order. Chair shot, missed that, hit the ring post. Bobby Fulton grabs the chair and hits Bobby Eaton. I don't know how the referee didn't see it, but the referee immediately taking the chair away from Bobby Fulton. Referee kicks the chair out of the ring. They double tween Stan. Double backdrop on Stan Lane. They immediately go to Bobby Eaton. There's not much you can say. I mean, it's a great match. Jim Cornette trying to give Stan Lane the chair. Stan Lane kicking Tommy Rogers. The table thrown into Bobby Fulton. Head first into the chair. There you see Stan Lane off the apron into Bobby Fulton. He takes the chair across his back. Jim Cornette throwing the chair. You would think that this is a no DQ match. And Jim Cornette running around the ring trying to get away from Bobby Fulton. Tommy Rogers going to work on Bobby Eaton, fist to the head. Bobby Eaton rakes the eyes. Bobby Eaton was such a talent. I mean, he was a great tag team wrestler. It didn't matter if he was with Coco Ware, Dennis Condrey, or Stan Lane. Bobby Eaton could really just perform with anybody. They're double teaming, both of them in the ring. Irish whip on Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. Bobby Fulton with the left hands. There's a right. Randy Anderson trying to get Tommy Rogers out of the ring. Bobby Fulton trying to get some punches in on Bobby Eaton. And Tommy Rogers thrown back into the ring. Bobby Fulton checking on him. Tommy Rogers trying to fight back on Bobby Eaton. Bobby, like I said, was a great tag. Both of them were. Stan Lane was as well. Blocked by Tommy Rogers. You see Bobby Fulton trying to rally the crowd behind his partner. Randy Anderson trying to count. This was a very good, like I said, a great program. It was pay-per-view quality. A lot of matches on the card that were great matches looking back. Super kick by Sweet Stan on Tommy Rogers. Tags Bobby Eaton back in. Picks him up. Referee telling him to watch the hair. Right hand by Bobby Eaton. Another right hand. He pushes the referee back. Randy Anderson was one of those referees that he didn't seem like he was tough until they actually got into him. And he could hold his own. Of course, Jim Cornette holding the table up, head first Tommy Rogers into the table. Stan Lane coming in. Leg drop on Tommy Rogers. And an elbow on Tommy Rogers. Ooh, shoulder block into the kidneys. And Tommy Rogers fighting back. Tags Bobby Eaton. Tommy Rogers trying to get to his corner to make the tag to Bobby Fulton, the fresh man. Power slam by Bobby Eaton. I think Bobby got about as much power out of it as Tommy did. There's a lot to the late, great Bobby Eaton. It was one of a kind flying elbow off the top rope. He could just about do it all. Tagged to Sweet Stan Lane. They really isolated Tommy Rogers during the match, and there comes Bobby Fulton. The quick exchange made by the Midnights. Referee's back was turned. Bobby Fulton trying to tell the ref. Tag to Bobby Eaton. Going to the top rope. Bobby Fulton got a handful of hair on Bobby Eaton, the referee, pulling them apart. Randy Anderson sure had his work cut out for him in this match. It's really, if you watch this match and you're looking at it for the first time, it's a classic, like I said. Great tag team match, a lot of psychology in it, dividing the ring, keeping the man over in the opposite corner, preventing the babyface from making the tag to his partner. Sunset flip on Sweet Stan, going to get a 2 count. No, the referee's back's turned. Kick by Bobby Eaton. Super kick by Sweet Stan to the back of the head of Tommy Rogers. Picks him up, throws him outside over on the far side of the ring. There you see Bobby Fulton trying to get around his partner, the referee pushing him back. Bobby Eaton setting the table there. Slam Tommy Rogers on it. The referee's still trying to get Bobby Fulton back. Jim Cornette running around the ring. Happy that his guys are laying a beating to Tommy Rogers. They've had him in this match for most of the entire time. The referee trying to keep Bobby Fulton out of the ring. At the Greensboro Coliseum. That was a classic place for a lot of the NWA matches during that time. Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. It was Greensboro, North Carolina. Other places like Charlotte, the Omni in Atlanta, were all places that the NWA visited quite frequently. Stomp to the head on Tommy Rogers. Another one. Bobby Eaton on the ground over in the corner talking to his manager. And there he finally gets a little bit of a communication between Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, trying to check and see if he's all right. The referee instructing Bobby Fulton back to the other corner. Stand Lane in, fans chanting. Stan Lane going to pull Tommy Rogers back into the ring. Punch to the stomach. Another one. Puts him in his corner. Irish whip. And a elbow to the back of the head by Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton choking by Tommy Rogers. Referee telling him break the hold. You had three great people in this match that are no longer with us. You had, of course, Bobby Eaton, Tommy Rogers, and referee Randy Anderson. Tagged to Bobby Fulton. The referee didn't see it. He's going to put Bobby Fulton back out of the ring. All the while, there's Jim Cornette in the ring with the tennis racket to the stomach of Bobby Fulton. Bobby Fulton throwing the referee over the top rope. Ooh, tennis racket to the head of Bobby Eaton accidentally. This match is breaking down quick. Rocket launcher on Tommy Rogers. Tommy Young counting the pin. The winners, the Fantastics. Randy Anderson getting back up. Talking to Tommy Young. Tommy Young got the belts, presenting them. Randy Anderson telling him no, no. Bobby Fulton threw him over the top rope. Randy Anderson disqualifying the Fantastics. You know, you watch that match and you see a lot of weapons used in it, which was a disqualification under normal standards. Chairs or tennis racket shot to the head of the referees, but you watch it and double pancake to Bobby Fulton. Like I was saying, the weapon should have been the disqualification. He's taking Jim Cornette's belt to the back of Bobby Fulton, letting Jim Cornette, he's going to have a go at it. And they bail out of the ring. Tommy Rogers back in the ring with the chair, staving off another attack from the Midnight Express. Jim Cornette hitting Tommy Young for good measure. What a classic. The winners by disqualification, the Midnight Express. There you see Bobby Fulton throwing Randy Anderson over the top rope. And that was a disqualification under normal circumstances, but I'm not sure. There was, like I said, a lot of weapons being used in that match. Why that wasn't a disqualification, I don't know. But again, the winners, the Midnight Express, still your United States Tag Team Champions. It was a back and forth fight. They isolated Tommy Rogers for most of the match. But a lot, like I said, weapons being used. Both teams very talented. First ever Clash of Champions, first one for Jim Crockett Promotions in 1988. I want to say it was March 27th. I'll post a date if it wasn't. Great from beginning to end. I encourage everybody, if you get a chance, go watch the whole thing. I'll put the link in the comments. I also do want to talk about, on February 11th, in Ashland, Kentucky, Time Warped will be bringing Kane from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an autograph signing. This will be at their mall location. Come out and meet and greet Kane. It's going to be a great event. That same day in Williamson, West Virginia, ASW will be having their My Bloody Valentine program at the Williamson Memorial Fieldhouse. Buff Bagwell and Heath will be on hand. as well as just announced replacing Ricky Morton and his son Kerry will be none other than the legendary leader and founder of the Horsemen, Double A Arn Anderson, and his son Brock will be on hand. It's going to be a great card that night. A lot of talent on hand for some good matches. Be sure to come by at the Williamson Fieldhouse for the meet and greets as well as the show. On March 11th, World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling in Chillicothe, Ohio at the OUC Shoemaker Center will have their Glory Days Bash, the Reunion 2. There will be some great talent on hand for that. Mr. Hughes, Bill Apter, Dan the Beast Severin, Jackie and Bobby Fulton, Shark Boy, Ernest Miller, Tommy Young will be on hand, Two Cold Scorpio, the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobs and Jerry Saggs, Henry Godwin, Shane Douglas will be on hand, Enzo, Axe and Smash, the Demolition, Nikita Koloff, Jimmy Valiant, the Honky Tonk Man, Rob Van Dam, and the Rock and Roll Express. Also just announced for that card is going to be the Icon Sting will be on hand for an autograph session there. So be sure to come to Chillicothe, Ohio for that. On May 6th, Time Warp will be having their Bluegrass Wrestling Convention 4 at the Boyd County Community Center in Catlettsburg, Kentucky. On hand will be Tito Santana, Larry Zbyszko, Kurt Angle, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, IRS, Mike Rotunda as we know him. Bobby Blaze will be there. Jimmy the Mouth of the South Heart, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Barry Horowitz will be there. Also announced for that show will be Jerry the King Lawler signing autographs. So make sure that you come out for Bluegrass Wrestling Convention number 4 on May the 6th at the Boyd County Community Center. A week later, on May 14th, at the Ashland Mall location, Time Warp will have Mick Foley on hand for an autograph meet and greet. Make sure you come to see Mick Foley then. He'll be signing autographs, meeting the fans. It's going to be a great event. Mick Foley, a hardcore legend. He's been around a long time. Cactus Jack, Dude Loved Mankind. No matter who he was always good at what he was doing. One of the true legends of the business. So make sure, like I said, be there to meet Mick Foley on May the 14th. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. I appreciate you all. I'm glad we got to do this. Hopefully you all have enjoyed this watch along. Again, we'll do another one sometime in the near future. But I do want to take another moment to remember, and like I said, everybody be in prayer for the family of Jay Briscoe, who passed away in a tragic car accident on January the 17th. I thank you all again. Until next time, so long from the Bluegrass State.